Hello everyone, welcome to my show. My guest today is a well-known Polish artist, Anna Wippage. I hope you enjoy our interview that we are recording in the middle of January 2021. A quick warning, this video contains art with nude figures and may not be appropriate for younger audiences. Anna Wypych is the recipient of many prestigious awards and accolades, including the Best of Show Award at the 2020 International Guild of Realism and Purchase Award at the 14th International ARC Salon in 2019. Her paintings are also in permanent collections of several European museums. She also participated in several juried exhibitions that included the 14th and 11th International Art Renewal Center Annual Salon, the show at Sotheby's in New York, as well as BP Portrait Award in 2014. She showed her art at the National Portrait Gallery in London. Anna's paintings have been featured in many magazines, including the American Art Collector, Poets and Artists, Fine Art Connoisseur magazine, and Hyperrealist magazine, and many, many more. Her art is in several art collections, including the Bennett collection. Anna Wypych creates imaginative realism paintings in oils. These paintings become the explorations of forces of nature and the true essence of a man. She searches for this elusive sense of higher consciousness present in every human. She depicts her feelings and ideas through vibrant colors and thoughtful compositions. Please welcome Anna Wypych. All right. Well, nice to meet you. Welcome to my show.
Nice to meet you. And I would like to thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, sure.
It's fun.
So is this your studio?
Yes, this is my studio.
All right. Let's talk about your paintings. So when I look at your artwork, and I think it's nice that you have a lot of it in progression. I went back and saw your work from your graduation years. What interests me is to know why you overlap the figures, what it means for you, and what do you want others to see in those overlapping figures?
Of course, it is very complicated, but the simplest explanation is that one figure is not enough for me. To some projects, to some ideas I want to share, I have to multiply them to just better capture the theme. For example, when we have one figure, we concentrate on that one figure, and then we think how who is she, why she's shown like that. We think about that particular person. It's more difficult to start to see something more general. When I multiply figures, it is somehow natural to think like that.
Do you think that this concept has been changing over the years for you, like the meaning of multiple figures? So do you think it's still the same, like the same idea of looking at abstracted figure as opposed to a single figure, as far as I understand you, right?
There are some artists who just have their own general idea, and they somehow can do this for many years, for a long time, almost for their whole career. Mm-hmm. And I'm one of those who just have to change. So when I graduated from Academy of Art, I was doing huge painting, huge scales with multiple figures. in the past, multiple figures were very important for me, and I started to do this really, really early in my career. This is something which still touch me, my soul, and I feel inspired by this. But then and now, as then I was different person, and now I am different person. It is a little bit something different.
Your graduation pieces are very large. Was it a requirement or just your calling? Like you wanted to depict them huge?
It was just me be stubborn, because
Okay.
everyone told me that I could not start my career from so huge paintings and I will not sell them, and it is a bad idea. So I had to do this.
Okay.
Now I was developing from really huge size. Now I like miniatures. The reason why I switched to smaller and smaller sizes was work. I had more skills to do more details, so I couldn't spend so much time on so huge paintings. So during the same time, because I was more skilled, I was able to do smaller size of paintings. That's the reason.
Okay. Again, when I look at your series of paintings, you used to paint figures at sea, and then you painted figures placed with the light and fire. You also use a lot of color, and I can see that you play with the light, with the artificial light, and all those figures are very light and cheerful. What's the reason for the transparency of the figures?
I can tell that I do some series of works, and yes, some of them are connected with sea and with fire. There's huge series of my paintings with fire, which I lately done, and that multiplication are also all the time. This is coming back to me. Like I always feel like I can say something more in this with this motif. I can say about sea that because I live close to the coast, on the coast, actually, love that the sea is close, and I always can go there and watch waves, and this somehow calms me down. So this is important motif. I use it in every painting with different meaning, but that's why I am coming back to this. Fire is something like I always connected with my character. I'm so close to my nature. And that multiplication, I think I use this mean of communication, that multiplication, when I need to say more and I could not put it in one figure somehow. If there is special meaning of just this multiplication, maybe a little bit I want to share that different stages in time at the same moment, or movement.
Yeah, it looks more like a movement to me. Like whenever I look at such paintings, it feels like there is almost a disconnect from just a regular person, and almost like a spirit that walks through the stages.
Like in my latest painting, obviously there is many of you. I painted girl in the forest. In that particular painting, I'm circling around that theme of being multiply, and at the same time being one person. And we actually don't know if this is one girl in different times, or this is couple of girls. They are so close that seems to be one, or what is happening. And I like to play with that question in that painting. So
does it have a little bit of a connection to time and how time relates to our perception of reality, or it has nothing to do with time at all?
With time too, but at the same time with different sides of us somehow. In this painting, I shared couple of girls, and they could be different moments in time, but at the same time could be different versions of that girl. Okay. So yeah, so this is all mixed. I like to paint. My paintings are something like questions, not answers. There is a big space for viewer to just explore the theme and feel something about this, and and see their own version of that. When I paint, I just don't want to give answer and say how it is, how I see it. Just make something like cloud with impressions with feelings. Feelings are never one feeling. It is always connected with different things. So for me, paintings are like that. It is some strange connection between thought and feeling, and this is many things at once. So yeah.
This is a very good explanation. I like that. Why do you paint people? Like, why did you choose to paint people as opposed to landscapes or still life or, animals? What is it that you like so much about the figure?
I think there are two sides of coin with that. There is more spiritual, that I'm just more concentrated on people, on human condition, and I am just I like to explore this and think about it. I am just really, really easily bored when I paint something else. When I paint, even in the same painting, when I work on a figure, I don't see when time is passing. But when I have to do background or something around, I usually just choose more expressive ways of painting.
I used to paint everything else but the figure because it was so hard for me. It took a very long time, to get the anatomy and all of that. But now I don't really feel I don't have the interest painting still lifes anymore. It's kind of boring.
There have to be something, something have to touch your soul. You have to feel that, that flow, that I have to paint this. So follow your flow. If it's people now, so paint people. It's really important when you paint that you are really deep into.
So how do you pick models for your paintings? Who are they? Are they your friends or your relatives? How do you find them? And also, tell me how you photograph your models and how you set them up. Do you have a preliminary idea or you just go with the flow? Like sometimes when I photograph people, I just let them do whatever they want and I just pick the angles and take the shots. But I also have some ideas that I want for those models to show me and to record. So how do you approach, finding models and taking pictures and setting them up or whatever?
During last couple of years, I checked and did this in many ways. There were some of my family members who poses for me. There were friends who agreed to be my models, and even I found some strangers, and even I checked websites for models. There is no one way to find model. I just have to find person who somehow suits to my idea, because first of all I have idea, then I seek model for it. And usually when I'm doing that seeking, I'm preparing what should be on the photo session. Sometimes I just arrange scene where the model have to do something and then I photograph her. And some lately, I had a photo session with a really young girl, and it was the really really hard photo session for her
Mm-hmm.
because she just basically in my studio was the lamp and her, and
Mm-hmm.
of course photo camera, and she had to show some feelings on her face and with her movement. That's why this was more difficult. It is easier when you ask a model to do something, to put something, or you say a story what she's doing. It is easier then. But when you just let her be there and she should show some feeling on her face, it is extremely difficult. And she was awesome in it.
So, do you normally take pictures in your studio or you go outside? Because you have different paintings. Some of them are images of the outdoors, say a girl in the forest. So, do you take all pictures indoors and then just combine different images together?
Actually, till now, I was doing always photo session inside,
Right.
and but lately I open myself to landscapes, and I have to say something more about the landscapes. But wait a moment. But lately I open it myself to this, and I'm really open to try a photo session with model in the, for example, forest.
Mm-hmm.
But I have never done this before.
Okay.
And about landscapes, I said that till now I was always concentrated on people and never done landscape in my life, I think. But uh, yeah, but COVID changed me. Yes, and really changed me. And lately I started to do some landscapes, and now I'm working on series of works with landscapes.
Okay.
So yeah, here I am changing again.
Most of your paintings have female models. Do you plan on having like male models in your art, or it's mostly female?
Many people ask these questions, and um, I do not cross this idea. But when I am painting, I am not portraying anyone. I am saying about things and feelings,
Mm-hmm.
and somehow it is my point of view. So I use my ways of speaking. So that's why there are girls.
Mm-hmm. You know, I'm asked this question a lot too, because there is not that much art with male figures. And I always say that, you know, I'm female, so I'm just projecting my feelings. So how can I
Yeah,
project me, you know, feelings of a guy? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's possible. Like, I actually want to take pictures of both male and female. I have some ideas for that, but I can't imagine doing a series of works just working with the male model because I feel like they are not representing me in a way I need to.
yeah, yeah. I feel the same.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like it is somehow strange.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a little bit odd.
But I have no problems with doing portraits of people, or like a
Mhm.
commission or something.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
totally
but
fine.
it's a
Yeah.
little bit different than working on imaginative art. So, what's your painting process? Do you start from the underpainting? Do you do sketches, or do you skip all of that and just start painting in color? Like over the years, I've tried everything, and I went through like all different stages. And I used to do a lot of underpainting, and now I actually skip most of it and go for color underpainting. What's your process? How do you approach? painting figures?
When I work on projects, then I carefully choose colors and change some things. It is not only using my photos from photo session, adjust it to my idea. So when I'm starting to paint on canvas, it is at the beginning I just have to transfer what's there to what's there. So usually I try to adjust and use some techniques which will let me do this as quick as possible to be able to start using color. And this is actually painting for me then. So usually I do underpainting with color. So when you want something warm, you do warm underpainting. And it's your eye. Sometimes when I have some parts of painting which should be with different dominant color, I just separate it by using tape and then use the different color of underpainting. So that's why sometimes on my paintings are at the beginning geometrical figures,
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then I use squares to just do
I
my
just
drawing.
wanted to ask you about this. Do you use square method to transfer the figure?
Then, yes, I do squares. For me, this works better than forget
Projector?
word. Projector, yes.
Projector?
This for me, this is better than projector because I doing drawing. I learn myself where everything is, and I think about this. So it's easier after that to use colors on it.
I find that projector kind of distorts the image, and it's really noticeable in figure painting, in anatomy. You don't really see that distortion in landscapes if you transfer, the landscape.
Yeah, there are ways to avoid this, but it took a lot of time and focus, and it's easier to square it.
Yeah, I agree. It's easier to square.
Yeah, it look like you have to use more time to do this, but it's worth it because after that you know where everything is. And then I use colors.
And then you use colors. So paint, how do you approach layering colors?
My first layer looks pretty funny, and some people think that I am just printing, like printing machine, because it looks like that. When I do square by square, and that square which I ended looks like the final painting, but it isn't. After that, I put on it a lot of layers. I do too much at once. I just lose the colors richness. So that's why I am really slowly with that first layer. And after that, I do bigger parts, and I somehow seek harmony in that colors, because that first layer usually is wild.
Is there a particular meaning to painting nude figures?
For me, being naked in painting wasn't ever connected with erotism or things like that. It was always connected with, pure idea, without clothes, without any distractions, and just like that. Lately, I felt like I don't need so huge pureness anymore. And clothes and things around, and even landscapes in the background, it is fine. I just somehow developed in that direction.
Okay. How does your family influence your work? You told me you have a son, and I'm assuming you are married. So what's the name of your child?
František. Frankie.
František. Did I say it right? No.
Yes, yes, you were perfect.
Okay. How old is he?
He's almost 5.
If there were a couple of minutes of silence, it meant something was really going on, you know?
Yes, and you have to check
Yeah.
what is happening. Yeah, and when you could not find your child, this is super super intense that you have to find him because he know that he done something bad. Yeah.
Yeah. How does it change your studio practice, like your work hours and maybe even your inspiration?
With my husband, we met during our studies at Academy of Arts.
So he's also an
Actually,
artist, is he?
he's also an artist. He's graphic design, and actually now he have his own school where he teach drawing and painting and graphic design.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, so somehow we developed and created our careers simultaneously, side by side. So I even cannot say what will be with me and my art without him. He's just supporting all the time. Even now
He's your
he's
second
over there.
hand.
If something went wrong with Zoom, I also you saw me, Mama, help. Yeah, so this is like that. And my son, he's now 5. So when he happened in my life, I had to change with my painting and way of think about my art and creativity. I thought about this some time ago. Imagine that you have a stand and there is huge stone at the middle of it. And this was me before. This was painting for me. Stand and only huge painting. So this was the most important. I was focused on it, and everything was around this. And then my son happened, and suddenly on the stand are many stones. They are as big. I don't know how they fit there. I don't know, but they are all there, and they are all important. Now I have more really important things in my life.
Oh, good to hear that. So
Yeah.
do you want to have more kids, or you think one is enough?
No, one is enough.
Yeah.
One is enough for me, but I understand that some people want to have many children, and I know why. And I also understand that some people do not want to have any children. So, and I understand this too. Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone have their own life, and they should live like they want. And for me, one
Is enough.
is cool.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah. The society has evolved over centuries, and I think it's great that people have a choice today, as opposed to, even 2 decades ago, it wasn't much of a choice. Yeah.
And now, it is important to remember that we do not have to follow anything, create our life just like we want. And sometimes it is the most difficult thing to just realize what I want.
Yeah. Yeah, when you live well, it's a question. You go through different stages. Sometimes it's like you need to survive, so you do certain things to survive. But then when you reach a different level, now what? Right?
Yeah, I totally agree with that you said about the different stages. And I even could add to this way of thinking about life that we have circles, and we have circles, parts when we fight and parts of life when we have to rest for a while. It could be a month, could be a year, or a couple of years. Depend to everybody, but somehow this where we are now does not mean that we will be like that all the time. It will change, and it is fine.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of your work deals with change. That's
Yeah.
exactly what kind of, the feeling that I'm getting like when I look at multiple figures. It's like someone is walking through time and space and keeps changing. It's not just one reality, I guess. The reality is different in many ways. And
Yeah, I think that it is really female thing that change, and that at the same time being different versions of ourselves
mhm,
somehow. Being a mother and being artist and being worker and being everything else, and somehow for me it is our thing somehow.
mhm. Well, I think guys experience the same feelings and the same, maybe thoughts, but I think it's easier for us to express it or
Yeah,
to
yeah.
understand it and like to go through it as opposed to guys. I think they're just having harder time to express it, less emotional.
But not all of them.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
no, that's what I'm saying. Like all people have feelings and thoughts and ideas, and I think most of them are very similar. So there is no division between the sexes, but I think it's just easier for us to understand and express ourselves.
I have never thought about this in this way. But, yeah, nice thought. Thanks.
Sure. Going back to painting, like I wanted to ask about your education. Who taught you the anatomy and the skill of painting? Like, it was a very difficult road for me. Like, when I started painting, I was in my early 20s. And although I went through state schools, they didn't really teach the skill of painting.
I started to be educated in direction of art when I was in gymnasium. It is something before high school,
Okay.
and I went to gymnasium with art profile. After that, high school and Academy of Art. So this was my art education. But when you say about anatomy, I had anatomy lessons in my school.
Mm-hmm.
Poland is somewhere in the middle of thought about art. There is east and west. For example, in Russia, in Petersburg,
Mm-hmm.
they teach really, really technical things.
Mm-hmm.
In Italy too,
Mm-hmm.
where anatomy is super important, where painting from life is just
Mm-hmm.
their goal to do this best they could. But when you watch art in opposite direction, they are concentrated on vision and idea, and they are saying a lot about art, not actually teaching skills like anatomy and thoughts like that. And Poland is somewhere in the middle, so it's connected to where you go to school and to what professors. Then you got some special skills. I had the lessons of anatomy in my school. It was organized like that. I have theoretical at medicine university, where I saw actually dead human body and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. And after that theoretical lessons, I had lessons practical. There was drawing lessons. We had to just draw human figure like it is, without any art, without combining anything else in it, just to do this
Yeah,
properly.
life figure drawing class. Yeah.
Yes, yes. But actually, I have to say that it was a part of my education.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, it was most important to just seek in internet, try to do this, and circles all the time. And even after graduation, I was just always seeking how to develop these skills. It is that academy, but also self-educating after that.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to thank my professor, Świeszewski, and second professor, Kornacki. Yes, they were the best, and they taught me really a lot about skills, about technical painting, but also about how to think in painting, how to say something in painting, how to interpret things, and being inspired. So yeah, they both great team.
So was it during your college education where you got your master's degree, or like
Yes,
was the
it was there.
okay? And what's the name of the school?
Academy of Art in Gdańsk.
Okay, cool. Sounds cool.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea where you are going to be in 10, 15 years?
I'm 34, so it will be 44. Actually, when I am thinking about this, at the same place, but better. I'm on the right path. I'm happy with how my life looks like now.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I would like to some things be better, and when I'm selling paintings, I would like to sell more. When I am having an exhibition, I would like to have more, and everything, but better. But actually, I am at right place, at right path. Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. So tell me, to what galleries you ship art? Like where, what's your representation? I know there is one in Charleston.
Yeah, I work with a couple of galleries, a couple in Poland, but also in Principal Gallery in Charleston and Alexandria. I'm working with them for many years, and I love them. They're so cool. Yes, so these guys are great. I also work with gallery, Abend Gallery. Recently, I had a solo show there. So yeah, there are a couple of my paintings available there. And also I work with an art gallery in San Antonio.
Okay.
So these are my three right now, but during last years I worked in a couple of others too. So
how is the art scene in Poland? Like, is it people like art? Is it fashionable?
People like art. People like to buy art. In Poland, we have a really different circles of concentrated on different kind of art. There are circles concentrated on surrealism, and circles concentrated on video art and art connected with social projects. And we have many, but they are not speaking with each other, I think.
Okay, so they are kind of separate groups.
Separate groups, yes, exactly. But people are like to have art, especially lately. I saw that many people seek new art.
Okay, well, that's interesting. Yeah. Okay. What do you think of contemporary art, like in Poland and worldwide? I mean, you visit the States as well. Like what?
Couple of times, yes.
Yeah. So how is it different, or maybe the same? What's your thoughts about contemporary art?
I think that now we have that special moment in history of world that we all are so connected, and every idea is traveling through countries and space so easily that that it is impossible to see any where are we going, because the same idea, the same kind of painting, when someone does in Argentina, for example, suddenly someone from Poland saw and could do this inspired by that Argentina person. So we will be able to say how is contemporary art after a while, to looking back and see what was strongest. But from this point of view, it is impossible. I don't think that something will win, like realism or abstractionism or anything else. I think that we all are, screaming, and no one will win, but we all have space in art market somehow. Yeah, and it is not bad that there is no one huge movement. It's good. Let's do a lot of things, and let's try to create something with that. And I have a thought about that. COVID changed also art, because before COVID we were, countries, we were separated. And for example, I with Poland had different problems than people, for example, in States. Somehow different. It was different. But suddenly COVID happened, and I have to wear mask. You have to wear mask, and many people have to. People have the same problems. For example, closed restaurants, and of course sick people, and frightened about our family, how they will survive and avoid being sick. So this, I think, this is first time when something touched everyone, everywhere in the world. And somehow I think that this will change a lot in the future. Maybe not now, but the starting point to change already happened. And we will no longer think like we don't care about people in different parts of the world because they are so far away. No, we live in the same planet, and somehow we have to be together a little bit more than it was before.
You feel like there will be or there is more unity among different kinds?
I hope they will be. I hope.
Yeah. What advice would you give to inspiring artists? Like, what would be one thing they need to master, to be successful in their career?
Successful? I don't know. It is super hard. I can say that if I could say one thing to young artists, how to what is important and was important for me, you have to follow your thought, your heart somehow. Do not try to do something because you think it will be better, you think that everyone told you that it is a good way. Just do your job, do your what you think. You have to. The piece of art is built from the essence and the form, the surroundings, and you have to be honest in that essence. It have to be yours with no compromising. It has to be totally strange. If you want to paint, I don't know, spiders or dead fish or something, it has to be that, and you cannot change it. But the form and how you will share it in art, this is what you have to develop. Sometimes you have to be big and do big paintings, sometimes small, sometimes you sell prints, sometimes you do postcards or multiply or anything else. This is where you have to, explore and find a way for you. But the essence have to be totally yours.
What would you say to people who are on the sidelines and haven't bought any art yet? Like, what would you tell them?
What future collectors or
Yeah, like future collectors, or maybe collectors who are just starting out to collect. Like, what would be your advice to those people?
find what you like and do not be afraid to just ask for it, because sometimes you could be surprised. For example, people think that you will need some huge amount of money to start collecting art. No, some artists have, when you speak with them, have some drawings or something cheaper, or just could send you postcards. What could be, good start to collection. Just be open, and when you like something, try to, try to get that. Do not be afraid. But the most important is you have to like your art. Investing in art and buying art just to sell it after a while, it is not quite collecting for me. It is making business. But collectors love their art, so they have to like it.
Okay, that's very good
Do you
advice.
collect?
Yeah, I have several pieces. Yeah, by different.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, we kind of
Yes,
have to do it.
yes, and I'm super happy, and I really so much joy from having art. It's nice. It's nice to have a painting. Yeah.
How do you display your art? Like your collection? Is it just spread out, or you have one like a single wall where you display all
All
the art
around my
that's
apartment.
your
All
apartment?
around my apartment. Yes.
Okay.
I have walls, and now I decided that I have to collect only small pieces,
Mm-hmm.
8 to 8 inch, or maybe 10 to 10 maximum,
Mm-hmm.
mm, uh, because I have small apartment and not so many walls, and they are
Right.
full already. So, yeah. And these are really different things. Some of them are graphics, some of them are landscapes, and some of them are drawings of my son. So yeah.
Okay. I think I'm also interested to know what you are dreaming about. The goals are different from dreams, and I don't know if it's the same for you or not, but like, what's your dream or dream project that you would
Does it have to be connected with art, my
like?
dream?
Doesn't it? I mean, it's just
I have
art
huge
is life.
dream.
Life is art.
I have huge dream. I would really, really love to uh, mm, COVID ends, and then I could go to States,
Mm-hmm.
land in New York, then rent a car and go through the States to Florida
Okay.
for a road trip with my family. This is my dream. Super, super huge dream. I would love to do that. And yeah, but COVID, I am sure that it will be possible in the
Yeah,
future.
I
Do you
think
live in New York?
I live in Florida actually. I live in Naples.
I have
Yeah.
family in Florida.
Okay.
That's why this will be our direction.
Okay. Well, let me know when you're here. If I'm here, we'll meet.
Okay, that could be super fun to see.
Yeah.
No, live.
Yeah.
And if you ever be in Poland, feel
Okay.
feel invited to coffee with me.
Yeah, if I ever make it to Poland, yeah, I'll let you know.
Open, and it was a pleasure to speak with you.
Okay. I'm very grateful that you are doing it, and thank you so much.
I am always super nervous when I see myself on the screen, and I see all mistakes and everything. Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I'm
but
the
still,
same way, but I try not to focus on that anymore. Like
mm,
I actually just put it out and almost like
I
forget
saw
about
that
it.
you have many films and many really complicated films,
Mm,
1 hour and something like that. Yeah,
yeah.
it is impressive.
I want to educate um, a lot of people on their free time. I
Mhm.
want to educate about contemporary art. So, and I think it's a good way to see how artists think and, paint and all of that.
It is super interesting to see how artists says about their art and about themselves. I'm super excited and will watch other your
Yeah.
films.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you so much, and I'll talk to you later.
Yeah,
And good
yeah.
night, because
Okay.
it's very
Yeah,
late.
it's late here. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
So have a nice evening. Bye.
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 Bye. Thanks so much, guys, for watching this video. Please subscribe, like, and share. Leave a comment if you have names of the artists that you want me to interview. I'm looking forward to hear from all of you very soon, and I hope that you like these videos.